Steve Kerr just confirmed LeBron James is coming to the Warriors to a fan, and the exchange has the internet going wild.
How you guys doing?
Yeah. Good. Hey, we need to get LeBron, man.
But we need LeBron.
Oh, we got him.
Okay, that's good. And
Put that on Twitter.
okay, I got you.
While that may have sounded like a joke, newly revealed documents suggest the LeBron deal may already be done. Let me break it down the timeline that put Kerr in that moment. Start with the contract, because the contract is what made any of this possible. LeBron James exercised his $52.63 million player option for the 2025-26 season. That option was part of a 2-year, $101.36 million deal he signed in 2024, a deal that carried a no-trade clause and a 15% trade kicker. That contract has now expired. LeBron is an unrestricted free agent for the 2026-27 season. It is the first time since 2018 that he has reached the open market with no restrictions on where he can go. He got there off a season that gives teams a reason to call. At age 41, LeBron averaged 20.9 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 7.2 assists on 51.5% shooting from the field. He made the All-Star team. He took the Lakers, without their star guards for stretches, to a first-round playoff win. He did it as a third-option creator. In late June 2026, Rich Paul relayed word to ESPN's Shams Charania. LeBron informed the Lakers he intends to play his 24th NBA season somewhere else, and the franchise could move on without him. 8 years in Los Angeles ended by an agent's phone call. On June 30, roughly 30 minutes before the herd went on air, another domino dropped in the Bay.
Draymond Green of the Warriors has declined, that doesn't mean he's leaving, declined his roughly $28 million option to become a free agent.
Draymond turning down $28 million is not Draymond leaving. It is Draymond creating room. Colin Cowherd read it that way on the spot.
What he is doing is signaling to you and I, LeBron and AD may be Warriors.
And the reason he could say that out loud is a detail of representation.
So these are all Rich Paul clients. Draymond is, AD is, LeBron is. So there's a through line.
On July 7, 2026, the Lakers renounced the free agent exception rights tied to LeBron. That closed the door behind him. Rich Paul went to work. Klutch has engaged with roughly 27 teams. The Golden State Warriors are on that list by name. So are the Cleveland Cavaliers. So are the Miami Heat. The instruction behind that number came out through ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
That memo came out from Dave McMenamin that LeBron has instructed Rich Paul to survey everybody that has any level of interest in him with an offer.
Survey everybody, assess from there. That is a process, not a decision. Anthony Slater added the pace of it.
As ESPN's Shams Charania reports, James' agent Rich Paul is taking pitches from a handful of interested teams, and the expectation is James will take time before deciding.
Taking time has a function for the teams waiting.
That would allow these suitors, including the Warriors, to beef up their rosters to better appeal to James, perhaps with a splashy trade.
Now the Warriors side of the ledger. Here's where Golden State sits.
The Warriors, as it currently stands, have $182 million, basically $183 million, committed to their roster for next year guaranteed.
That $183 million covers 10 of 15 roster spots. Sign LeBron, bring back Draymond, and that is 12. Smaller deals fill the rest. Then the ceiling. They have $17.7 million of luxury tax room left, and before that they hit the first apron. They are hard capped at the first apron. Here's the spending number attached to LeBron.
So they have about $26 million to use total, and that comes with LeBron James potentially signing.
The tool they would use is still sitting there.
Having to bring back Draymond Green, and you see they still have the non-taxpayer mid-level exception in full. It's unclear how that will be used, if all of it will go to LeBron or...
The non-taxpayer mid-level exception is around $15 million. That is the Warriors' offer. LeBron will not command a full max, which sits at roughly $57 million depending on the cap. The veteran minimum is about $3.9 million, and any team can offer it. Teams with cap space like the Bulls or the Nets could offer more than Golden State can. LeBron's stated priority is not the largest number. Then came the roster moves that shaped the math. DeAnthony Melton signed for 2 years and $11 million. Al Horford signed a 2-year, $14 million deal at 40 years old. Kristaps Porzingis signed an extension. Anthony Slater reported that the Melton deal slips into the biannual exception, that it hard caps the team at the first apron, and that team sources say they can maneuver it into the taxpayer mid-level before Melton signs it. Then Slater said what all of it is for.
Much of this is in relation to LeBron James and the team's ongoing pursuit of the high-profile unrestricted free agent.
And in the same breath, the line that sits against the title of this video in the mix.
The Warriors very much believe they're still in the mix for James, but still have been given no indication they are any type of front runner.
No indication of front runner status, that is the reporting. Then a fan asked Steve Kerr to sign LeBron James, and Kerr said, "Oh, we got him." 4 words, no press conference, no announcement. Here's the state of the board on the day it landed.
Until the LeBron thing is sorted out, which, as of today, Thursday, it is not set in stone just yet where LeBron will sign. They're still canvassing the league.
Kerr's 4 words are the loudest thing anyone in that building has said. They are also the only thing anyone in that building has said. So what is the line worth? That depends on 4 things: the money, the coach, the roster, and the man deciding. The money, how Golden State actually builds the room. Here is the uncomfortable truth buried under a fan-friendly quote like, "Oh, we got him." The Warriors do not have a checkbook, they have a puzzle. And every single piece of that puzzle has to be nudged into place before the 4 best words Steve Kerr has said all summer mean anything at all. Start with the wall. Golden State is hard capped at the first apron, and a hard cap is not a suggestion or a tax bill you shrug at. It is a hard, unmovable line. The league office will not let you cross for any reason at any price, no matter how badly Joe Lacob wants to. Cross it, and the transaction simply does not process. With roughly $183 million already committed and only 10 of 15 roster spots filled, the Warriors are trying to fit a 41-year-old all-time great, a returning Draymond Green, and 3 more bodies into about $26 million of breathing room. That is the arithmetic of a franchise trying to buy a Ferrari with the change in the couch. Which brings us to the single most underrated bit of front office craftsmanship of this entire Warriors offseason, the DeAnthony Melton contract. On the surface, it is a 2-year, $11 million deal for a guard who tore his ACL 6 games into his first Warriors stint.
Melton agreed to a 2-year, $11 million contract that slips him into the biannual exception, which hard caps him at the first apron.
Underneath it, it is a trapdoor. Slip Melton into the biannual exception, and the door slams shut at the apron. But the front office wrote itself an escape hatch, and Slater found it.
But team sources said they have the right to maneuver Melton's contract into the taxpayer mid-level before he signs it, which would...
Read that again slowly, because it is the whole ball game. Before the ink dries, Golden State can reclassify Melton's money into the taxpayer mid-level, and if any ensuing roster move requires them to blow past the first apron, they can blow past it. They built a door where a wall was supposed to be, and they built it specifically so they could write 2 meaningful checks in the same summer, one to LeBron James, one to Draymond Green, instead of choosing between them. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception, roughly $15 million, is still sitting in the drawer untouched, and nobody outside the building knows whether all of it goes to LeBron or whether a slice of it goes to LeBron while Draymond gets paid through bird rights, which is a route the Warriors are perfectly entitled to take deep into the luxury tax. Then there is the Kristaps Porzingis maneuver, which is the sneakiest and possibly the most important thing Golden State has done. Porzingis was an unrestricted free agent. He did not sign a new free agent deal. He signed an extension, and that distinction is worth a first-round pick all by itself.
Now, Kristaps Porzingis is immediately trade eligible. Porzingis signed a 2-year extension without a 5% or higher raise.
Every other free agent who signed a fresh deal across the league this summer is frozen, locked to their new city for roughly 6 months, usually until late December, before they can even be discussed in a trade. Porzingis is not frozen. He is liquid right now, today.
That is the kicker here, making him immediately trade eligible on his $20 million salary.
$20 million of matchable, movable, ready-to-ship salary sitting on a roster that is trying to add a superstar. And the man calling the segment did not pretend it was a coincidence.
This is incredibly good for Golden State in terms of flexibility and the ability to make those trades potentially if LeBron is to come to town.
Nothing about that structure is accidental. You do not build a 2-year extension without a 5% raise by accident. You do it because you have a plan and because you want a $20 million trade chip. You can fire the second an opportunity walks through the door.
But the Warriors did that. Like, that's the reason the Warriors did this. They did this for a reason. They did it so they could easily flip Kristaps Porzingis if an opportunity is there to improve.
Stack the chips, and the pile gets serious. Porzingis at $20 million, immediately movable. Moses Moody's contract on top of it. Suddenly you're talking about a package with real weight.
Now the Golden State Warriors have serious flexibility to go out there and make a move. You could even add in a Moses Moody contract.
Which raises the obvious next question. If the money is engineered, what exactly is the pitch? Because the pitch is not $15 million. The pitch is the man standing on the sideline. The coach. Why Kerr is the entire pitch. Steve Kerr is not a talking point. He is the closing argument, and his resume is the kind of thing you cannot fake or hire away from someone else. The man was born September 27, 1965 in Beirut, Lebanon, and grew up with a worldview most NBA lifers never develop. He started at Arizona and set an NCAA three-point record shooting 57% from deep in a single tournament. Then he spent 15 years in the league winning 5 championships. 3 alongside Michael Jordan with the Bulls from 1996 to 1998, 2 alongside Tim Duncan with the Spurs in 1999 and 2003. He still holds the NBA record for career three-point percentage at .454. He hit the game winner in the 1997 finals. He learned the job at the elbow of Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich and took the same lesson from both: empower the player and the player wins you the game. Golden State hired him in May 2014, and what followed rewrote the franchise. 4 NBA titles in 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2022. The single-season wins record at 73-9 in 2015-16, a number that will outlive everyone reading this. He is the winningest coach in franchise history with a 631 win percentage, roughly 604 wins and 353 losses. Coach of the Year, Olympic gold with Team USA in 2024. That last line is the one that matters here, because that is where Kerr and LeBron stopped being enemies. Understand what these two men were to each other before that. Kerr coached against LeBron in 4 consecutive NBA Finals from 2015 through 2018. 4 straight years of scheming against him, of trying to solve him, of watching him drag rosters into June through force of will. Warriors fans booed him. That was the arrangement. Then Kerr coached him, and the language changed completely. Kerr called it a blessing to coach LeBron. He talked about how coachable he is, how gifted he is, and finished with a line no rival coach says lightly, that he is a LeBron fan for life. He has named LeBron one of the 2 greatest players he has ever witnessed, alongside Jordan, and called him the greatest athlete in human history for the longevity, the pace, the athleticism, the passing, the sheer holistic dominance of it. On Team USA, Kerr said he was blown away by LeBron's leadership, his effort, and his voice in every single drill. That is not a coach recruiting. That is a coach who has already decided, and the system underneath the sentiment is the actual sell. Kerr's Warriors run motion offense, spacing, defensive versatility, read and react basketball. He does not screen. He collaborates. He talks about joy, competition, mindfulness, and compassion, and he has proven he can hold together the biggest personalities in the sport. Curry's joy, Draymond's fire, Klay's ice. He rebuilt Curry's confidence out of slumps. He managed Green's temper for a decade. He says it is the player's team, and he means it. Now imagine LeBron James, 41 years old, with 20.9 points and 7.2 assists still in the tank, dropped into a system built on read and react, standing next to the greatest gravity generator who has ever lived. Curry's off-ball movement bending defenses one way, LeBron's vision punishing them the other. Post-ups, pick and rolls, transition, Podziemski, Moody, Guay Santos, Yaxo Lendeborg, learning the game from the 2 smartest players of their era at once. Cowherd's proof of concept is not theoretical.
The most experienced team in the league. If you want proof of concept, you had 2024 Olympics.
But here's where the halo slips, and we have to be honest about it, because there is a version of this Warriors offseason that makes Steve Kerr look like a man being contradicted by his own front office.
Even if LeBron doesn't sign, who knows what Golden State's going to do? Because the moves so far, they don't signal a great message to me.
Because Kerr said this in his own voice about the thing that wrecked his last season.
I do think it's important that we don't have the vast number of players who couldn't play back-to-back. We can't do that again.
He wanted bodies that show up 82 times. He said it plainly, and then he asked for the fix.
It's too hard to build continuity. We need some younger legs for sure, and we know that.
So which is it? The coach who demanded durability, or the coach who said, oh, we got him about a 41-year-old? The answer is that Kerr is not the one signing the contracts. Lacob and Mike Dunleavy are, and that LeBron James is the one 41-year-old on the planet who has never been an availability problem. That is Kerr's pitch. It is the best one Golden State has, but a pitch is not a roster, and the roster is where this gets loud. The roster. Follow the through line and the shape of this thing gets almost cinematic. Draymond Green, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James are all Rich Paul clients. Draymond declines a $28 million option. The Warriors clear $26 million and hold a mid-level exception. Porzingis becomes tradable on day 1. That is not 4 separate news stories. That is one plan with 4 moving parts, and Cowherd saw the outline immediately.
It is creating flexibility for Mike Dunleavy Jr., Joe Lacob, and the front office for the Warriors to go out and sign LeBron and sign AD.
Sign LeBron and sign AD. Not one, both. And the price of admission is written on an injured wings contract.
And I will tell you this, they'll probably have to move off injured Jimmy Butler and attach some draft picks to it, probably several to the Wizards.
That is the gambit in full. Dump Butler's money in Washington, staple picks to it, hand LeBron the mid-level, re-sign Draymond through bird rights, keep Porzingis warm as a trade chip, and roll out the oldest, smartest, most decorated starting 5 anyone has assembled in decades. Golden State was already the oldest team in the NBA. They are not running from it.
Okay, the Warriors, I admit, they were the oldest team in the NBA last year, and they just went Golden Girls.
They just went Golden Girls. And rather than apologize for it, they are pressing the accelerator. There is a real strategic logic underneath the joke. The Western Conference has gone young and chaotic. LaMelo Ball to Minnesota, a Spurs roster full of kids who cannot legally order a drink at the team hotel. Everybody is chasing athleticism. Golden State would be selling something nobody else has, and they would be the most intelligent basketball team in the world by a mile. Curry, LeBron, Draymond, Davis, Kerr, that is 5 basketball brains that have combined for more rings than most franchises, have banners. There is no coverage they have not seen, no late game situation that could surprise them.
But I don't think LeBron is trying to be the soul of the team. I think it's a good landing spot.
Which leaves one man to convince, and he has not said a word about Golden State. The decision. Here's where the fantasy meets the wall, and the wall is a sentence from the Warriors' own beat coverage.
The Warriors very much believe they're still in the mix for James, but still have been given no indication they are any type of front runner.
Sit with the phrasing, because it is surgical. The Warriors believe they have been given no indication. Belief is what a front office generates internally when it likes its own pitch. Indication is what the other side sends back. Golden State has plenty of the first and none of the second, and Kerr's 4 words live entirely on the belief side of that ledger. That is the difference between a signing and a hope, and the Warriors have no choice but to hope because free agency has emptied out around them.
Look, we know this. Let's kind of go over the LeBron thing now, because the Warriors' number 1 priority obviously is LeBron at this point.
Number 1 priority, because there is no number 2. Anthony Simons went to the Sixers for $6 million a year. What is left on the open market is LeBron, Harden, and Draymond, and Harden is going back to Cleveland, and Draymond is coming back to the Bay regardless. After that, the board falls off a cliff. Rui Hachimura, Jonathan Kuminga, then a drop, then Brandon Williams, Andre Drummond, Bruce Brown, Nick Richards, Chris Middleton. Golden State is not chasing LeBron because he is the best option. They are chasing him because he is the only option, and every alternative move is frozen until he decides, which is exactly what makes this dangerous.
Though they remain continued signs that the front office is content that if they have to run it back with mostly the same roster. That's not good.
Getting played. That is a legitimate fear, because a survey of 27 teams is also a leverage machine. Rich Paul does not canvass the league to be polite. He canvasses it so the team LeBron actually wants knows what it is bidding against. Golden State's $15 million mid-level and its Porzingis chip could be nothing more than a number Cleveland or Miami has to beat. And strip out the romance, and the basketball case for the Warriors is not the strongest on the board.
But I'll tell you right now, as far as LeBron goes, if his goal is 100% to have the best chance at winning a championship,
Philadelphia, Denver, Cleveland, Miami, 27 doors. And Golden State is one of them. Even Nick Wright, granting the Warriors their romance, would not grant them the trophy.
dominoes have to fall, but Harden's going back to Cleveland, not like we want him at Golden State anyway, and Draymond's coming back to the Dubs. LeBron, we don't know what's going to happen there. After that, we got Rui Hachimura.
Kerr coming back makes it more likely. So what does LeBron actually want? He has been disciplined about this the way he has been disciplined about every decision since 2010. Control the narrative through clutch, say nothing quotable, let the actions speak. He has confirmed he intends to play in 2026-27 and that he wants meaningful, competitive basketball rather than a victory lap or a tank job. In May 2026, he made clear that Savannah and his young daughter factor heavily into the decision, that his roots are in Southern California, that his family stability is not negotiable. He has not named a team. He has not ruled out a team. He has not said one public word about the Golden State Warriors. After looking at everything, here's the reality. Kerr's comment wasn't an official confirmation. It was a conversation with a fan. But when you combine that exchange with everything happening behind the scenes, the Warriors clearing cap space, Curry and Draymond recruiting LeBron, and the front office keeping the door wide open, it's easy to see why so many fans believe Kerr had let something slip. Tell me in the comments where LeBron signs Golden State. Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia, out of nowhere. Like the video, subscribe, and we will cover every move until the decision drops. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.